Hey, come on, lovebirds. Let's go to our table, Fuzzy instructed, as she then led the way to the booth in the far corner that was set up just for them. After everyone was seated and bottles were popped, Speedy stood to his feet to make a toast. I want to thank all of you for coming out and joining us on this joyous occasion to celebrate the return of one of the realest niggas to ever grace the ill streets of Wilson, he announced, before looking down at his longtime partner and best friend. Menace bowed his head gracefully and then held his champagne bottle in the air. This man has been gone a long time, so long that most of you don't know who he is. For you that don't know, let me fill you in. His name is Menace. He and I started this crew from nothing, and now we have it all. I want all of you to treat him with the same trust, respect, loyalty, and honor that y'all treat me and Fuzzy with. Red cleared her throat to get Speedy's attention. My fault, Red, he laughed before continuing. Also Red, he added, before getting back on a serious note. Speedy looked around to meet all of the onlookers' stares. He continued, after being sure he had everyone's undivided attention. If there's anyone that has any objections to what I just said, you can leave now. Speedy pointed to the door. The building was so quiet you could hear an ant piss on cotton. When no one moved, Fuzzy popped the cork from her bottle of Moscato and then held it in the air. To Menace! She yelled, as suds ran down her bottle onto her arms. To Menace! The crowd roared in unison, all popping the tops of their bottles as well. Menace stood to his feet and looked around. He couldn't believe that their once four-man crew had grown into a small army of niggas. He just hoped that their hearts matched their rugged demeanor. We made it to the top, my nigga, Speedy whispered in Menace's ear as he walked over to his side. Say cheese, Fuzzy screamed before she then took a picture of the duo. It's time to party, Red yelled out when the DJ put on I'm Getting Money by O.J. the Juice Man. Menace thought back to the first time he met Red at the Twilight Zone. He knew he was in for the time of his life when she dragged him to the middle of the dance floor and dropped it like it was hot. Everything started to move in slow motion for him as he looked around at everyone having a good time. The crowd began to cheer his and Red's names as they did their thing. He couldn't believe that a little over a year and a half ago he was in the hospital fighting for his life, and now he was having the time of his life with a beautiful woman in front of him. The strange thing of it all was that he still felt like he was missing something or someone. He'd stayed up plenty of nights with the image of another woman in his mind. He couldn't quite see her clearly, but he knew he loved her. You okay? Red asked, once she noticed Menace standing there in a daze. You want to go sit down? Menace managed to put on a smile, grab her hand, and head back to the booth. Before they could make it across the floor, Speedy put his hand on Red's shoulder. Sorry, but I need to borrow your booth for a minute, he shouted over the loud music. All right, Speedy. Don't make me come looking for y'all, she joked, before throwing her hands in the air. Fuzzy, she called out, before heading to their booth to join her. Speedy led the way to the office in the back so he could speak with Menace in private. You enjoying yourself, playboy? He asked, before taking a seat behind the cherry desk facing the door. No doubt, homie, Menace smiled. What's on your mind? Speedy asked, sensing that something was bothering him. You swear you know me, Menace laughed before continuing. It ain't nothing, really. I might be just tripping or something, but I keep picturing this girl in my head. Speedy took another swallow of his champagne and then exhaled. He knew the time would come when Menace would ask about Crystal. He just didn't know exactly how he was going to explain things. You're probably talking about Crystal, your ex, he began. You might want to grab that chair, Speedy said, pointing to the chair in the corner. Menace took a seat in front of the desk and braced himself for the news he was about to receive. Crystal and my ex, Tawana, were sisters. Tawana hooked y'all up about a month or so after her and I got together. You and Crystal lived together. As a matter of fact, she was the one that found you shot and called the ambulance and then me. That was right before Tawana and our son. Speedy paused as he thought about their untimely deaths. I meant Tawana and her son. He corrected himself before he continued. After that, Crystal packed up and then left town with your jag and the safe, Speedy said as he shrugged his shoulders. No.